4th of January 2023, Wednesday. Alright, Tesla and Apple selling may not end so soon. Alright guys, this is really crazy because last week I was just talking about Apple and Tesla, and I mentioned to you guys that if these two counters continue to fall, the US market will be hit, and now it's really happening. But the thing is this, the US market is not coming down, right? Don't you feel that way? Exactly. So if these two, the kingpin stocks, are coming down and yet the US market is not coming down, is it because the market is strong? Well, I beg to differ. In fact, I feel that there is some manipulation, some portfolio rearrangement, and this is actually causing a bit of uneasiness right now. I'll explain to you more in detail shortly. Alright, first of all, once again, make sure that you do your risk assessment after whatever I share, and thank you AIMS for the kind sponsorship. Now, first of all, thank you guys for the wonderful comments. We have changed the way we do the spin the wheel lunch with Cal thingy, and I request that you guys watch the video, really understand my little hard work and appreciate what I do, and leave a comment over there. And as long as comment is more than 2 liners, I'll be more than happy to reply you. And if I reply you, that means that you have a chance to actually enjoy the lunch with me. Alright. Now, apology for a few things first. First of all, my video have been late this week because I have a special training that I'm conducting right now. So my MEO video for this week will be a bit late, yeah, about this time. And of course, the other thing is this, I haven't do my last week spin the wheel lunch with Cal thingy because I'm really very swamped with lots of stuff for the new year. So apology, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. So thank you once again to Joe Lu and Roger Wong who put the very nice comment over there. And of course, thank you to Kai from Germany, and of course Jennifer Ho, who actually used the S&P and probably have profited from it. So these people have comment on it, and I have reply on you. That means that you have the you want a chance for the next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, the spin the wheel lunch with Cal segment. Okay, so the rest of you, if you really want to be part of this, just leave a comment on what you hear today and then put it in the comment box. All right. Okay, thank you very much once again. Now let's recap what happened last night. Well, apparently the Dow Jones was down only 10 points. Wow. And Nasdaq was down by 77, and the S&P 500 was down by only 15 points. Now, I remember that before I slept, it was down by almost 250 points at one stage, if I recall correctly. And again, we have a very strong recovery towards the end, and that is where the strength is. Okay, so Google is up by 1%, Microsoft is flat, Amazon is up by 2%. So by right, such a way, usually we have Apple going up. But wow, Apple was down by 3.74%. That is a very big pullback. And Tesla, oh my God, lost 12%. And the low was, I think, 104 last night. Oh my God. Okay. So all this thing tells me that, hey, something is wrong. So if you look carefully across the board itself, we can see that there's no much big movement, but we have Disney up by 2%. We have maybe Walmart by 1%. And maybe we have something else that's a bit bigger. Let's take a look. I don't see anything else that caught my attention. So maybe this BAC is up. That's why it pushed the market a little bit higher. But nonetheless, in my opinion, this is not healthy, and I'll tell you more. Because remember, I showed you, I shared about this on the Tesla, and I told you guys that the 109 is a rebound, and about 115 level to be very, very careful. All right, let me show you the video right now, and you hear it for yourself. Yep. Up by 8%. Yay, not bad. 121. So a couple of days ago, I was telling you this Tesla is a buy at 109, and I tell you that you can buy if you are doing speculative trades. And I did mention that about 115 to 120 would be a good time to take profit, because I believe that the next round Tesla is going to go down below $100. Okay, so you heard me over here that was done on the 4 days ago, and I mentioned that Tesla will rebound to about 115 to 120, and then after that it's up, it will pull back below $100, and all seemingly is happening right now. So once again guys, all this information you can find on my video, and hope that you actually use it and make some money from the market. Alright, so what happened with Tesla? Okay, we have a lot of news on that. First of all, Tesla shares slide on delivery fears. Alright, this is the first thing. I told you guys that they may have a problem with delivering. Now, the 2 giga factory that they have in Germany and China, especially the later one, China is not going to do well. With the COVID coming in strongly on the people in China, definitely delivery will have a problem. And apparently now demand for this Tesla is a bit going down at the same time, because BYD is doing slightly better, and with the support of Warren Buffett, it seems that people are now basically feel a little bit lethargic they don't feel as close to Elon Musk right now, because what they've been doing on Twitter is really not very, very nice. And of course, with this is alright, they missed their deliveries, and we have a lot of movement with BYD, as I mentioned earlier. And of course, now there is this Tesla making the Chinese executive Tom Tzu to become the second in command for Elon Musk. So a lot of things happening, and of course, South Korea just fined Tesla $2.2 million for the exaggerating driving range for EVs. But the main thing is this, in my opinion, is a BYD. Now, BYD sold a record number of electric vehicles in December and consolidated its position as the world's largest seller of automobile that runs on non-fossil fuels. All right. So basically, this is taking the fifth place by Warren Buffett. Now, if you ask me, the car of this BYD is nothing as special and stunning to Tesla, but the way this company is handling itself right now, I think that is the one people like. They want something consistent, they want something strong, and they want people to feel comfortable. And I think that BYD is doing right now, right? So definitely, with this movement right now, it probably going to make some people in the White House a little bit uneasy right now, since that we have this guy involved in the head of US plant and stuff, right? So this is something that I just feel that this is not going to help Tesla. And of course, with the delivery now, fear is right. This is not going to be good, okay? Because this is really bad. And of course, for the chart wise, let's take a look here. The chart has broke down very badly. Now remember the time when we're talking about this Tesla, I said that this 206 is a very critical support level, which I mentioned to you. And we can see that the market was trying to hold 206. But once it lost 206, I felt that I shared with you that 162 would be next. And truth be told, it's still at 162, just a short moment, and then it went all the way down. And the last number I mentioned was 108, which I mentioned that 108 has to stay. And I remember telling you that if 108 stay, it will rebound to about 115 to 120. And then the next wave will be all the way down below 100. And I'm very confident to tell you that the next target could be really $91. Now, if $91 can't hold, oh gosh, guys, $65 will be next. Now, seriously, I cannot imagine if Tesla go to $65. That means that it's another 35% from where we are right now. Oh gosh, I cannot imagine all the index-linked funds, all the Caddywood funds, how would they, survive this? But of course, again, 91 is the first target, 65 is the long far target, which I think that in the long time, we can actually see it, okay? So the thing is that now the EVs, what they call market share, has started to drop a fair bit now. Tesla holds about 75%. But recently now you can see that more and more car makers are coming in to share. And you can see right now Tesla is losing market share. So all this information tells me that if this will continue, and if Elon Musk is not going to do anything here, I believe that 91 will be next. Alright? It may not be like tomorrow thingy, but it should be seen within like 2 to 3 months time. Let's take a look. Now for Apple, well, we have a very strong support at 129, which I mentioned to you right here. But yesterday, with a single movement, it had crashed below it and closed at 125 level, down by 3.74%. And I mean upfront here, the next support is just very nearby, 123. And if it loses 123, this is going to be bad, okay? If 123 is gone, the next target could be as low as 116. And I think that will be the very important base support that the Apple must hold. But if you ask me if that Tesla can go to $65, then there is a very possible chance to see Apple going to 109. Oh gosh, okay, this is really bad. Now again, if Apple go down to 109, that means it go down by 20%. This is not going to be good, guys. The whole Nasdaq will come tumbling down. So I suspect that 123, there will be funds coming to buy first, okay? And watch the market closer. Now, if this is going to continue, then 116 should be the first support, all right? That's how I see it. So what's happening now with Apple? Well, because of this, Apple cuts order on MacBook, Apple Watch, AirPods after weak demand. The keyword is weak demand, alright? Now, delivery is an issue here for China, for this Apple because of China, Foxconn. And the thing is this, we all know that now, most people now are really getting uncomfortable with what's happening right now. And the thing is this, with the price going up, think about this. Would you want to spend $2,500 US just to buy a phone. Now, all this thing tells me that maybe people are getting a little bit uneasy right now. Apology is 25 Singapore dollars, okay? My bet on that. So all this tells me that I need to be careful, and this is why I feel that Michael Burry is probably going to be right. Now, Michael Burry apparently has a new year sharing, okay? And he says that inflation has peaked, but it's not the last peak of this cycle. We are likely to see a CPI lower, possibly negative by second half of 2023. Oh, that's good. But the US recession by any definition. And Federal Reserve will cut the government, and government will stimulate. That's totally what happened. And then, of course, with another inflation spike. I totally agree. So let's watch this video and see what the Bloomberg guys have to say on what Michael Burry have shared. All right, let's take a look.
Made famous by Michael Lewis in his book, The Big Short, and played by Christian Bale, of course, in the movie, put out a fun-filled tweet that I think we need to dissect a little bit. I've got it up here on the screen. He says, yeah, inflation peaked, but it's not the last peak of this cycle. He says we will go lower and maybe even negative in the second half, and the U.S. will be in a recession by any definition. He doesn't give a date there, but sometime in the future, the U.S. will be in a recession. I guess it's implied that it's the second half. The Fed is going to have to cut, and the government's going to have to stimulate with some fiscal, I guess, helicopter drops. Let's get to Justina Lee right now, joining us to talk about this and markets in general. Justina, it's really interesting that Michael Burry comes out and says the Fed's going to have to cut because we're going to go into such a deep recession in 2023. Does that jive with consensus?
Yeah, that's a really big call there. But I think one part of the tweet that's really hitting at some of the big themes this year is the call for a recession. Now, if you look at all those Wall Street outlooks that they put out, I mean, that word does come up a lot. And it's one reason why a lot of strategists are expecting at least a better year for bonds, if not stocks. But I think the more controversial part of that tweet is the call for a rate cut. And now that is currently priced in the derivatives market, but we have seen Fed officials trying to push against that narrative. I mean, talking a lot about how they will need to see a persistent slowdown in inflation before they even, think about stopping their monetary tightening campaign.
All right, so you can hear it for yourself of what they say about Michael Burry, and in my opinion, he will be correct. Because he had been right for 2021, 2022, so I cannot see why 2023 he wouldn't be right. But the thing is this, okay? The thing is that we just have to understand. We have seen before when inflation starts to come down, all right? It will come down after lots of interest rate hikes. Then the stock market will actually follow downwards too. And when that all happens as well, right, the government will get worried because the stock market is coming down too fast, and then they will start to stimulate the economy by probably cutting interest rate, and that will actually kill the market. Why? Because that is where the bank's earnings will reduce, and of course the earnings that the business has earlier as well due to inflation will be cut down, reduced, and all this thing will basically bring down the stock market even lower. So I strongly believe that the recession will come in probably by September to October time, when we have 3 quarters of negative GDP, and then after that there will be official recession, right? But before that itself, the stock market will likely pull back quite a fair bit. And I mean, maintaining this, I still think that there could be a 15% drop from where we are right now, okay? And that actually is, make me even more worried when I saw this particular article on the dollar, on the BOJ. So apparently, all right, we've been seeing that the dollar yen has been coming down, right? That means the yen has been strengthening, all right, pretty strongly. So what happened is that, that a couple of days ago, right, BOJ announced an unscheduled bond purchase for the 3rd straight day. Now, this is not a good sign. Now, why would you be doing this? Apparently, it's really unprecedented. And this is not good, because this means that they are actually very fearful of something that they are not telling the market, and people are getting worried right now. So all this information tells me that, right, they by buying up to $17 trillion worth of this bond market basically means that they are quite worried that something may really go wrong. So all this information tells me that we just be very, very careful, guys. You don't see the mainstream media much because they don't want to freak you out, but I'm here to share you all this stuff. But of course you may say, Kel, but the thing is that the market is still not reacting. That's my point. The market is still not reacting. So let's look at the charts and see what we have for you for today. Let's take a look right now. So let me bring it to you, and just give me a moment. I bring it to you the other chart first, and I want to show you something that I'm pretty concerned right now. Let's bring in the 10-year yield. Okay. So first of all, right, let's look at the dollar. The dollar itself, we can see that is really very interesting. It's going at a very sideways between 104 to 105 area, and of course, we all know that the dollar went up on its own, not too sure what happened, and then today it pulled back, okay, and that causes the gold market to go higher. And recently gold have been really incredible, and I shared with you guys, remember this chart itself, this is the Fibonacci of gold, and I shared with you guys that if gold breaks above 1843, it will be going for the 1896, and I tell you that it's going to happen. So the first resistance now is about 1870, where we are right now in the cash market. If this break, then I'm going to be very confident we'll see the 1896 level, which I mentioned. That is a 61.8, and of course anything higher is 1970 is next. So traders, take note of this. Okay. Now back to the 10-year yield. I'll show you now. This is the 10-year yield chart. And you can see that a couple of days ago, it was really blistering all the way up to 3.9. And that was where I told you guys there will be some resistance. And it really happened. And that probably pushed the equity market a bit higher, right? But the thing is this is just a temporary pullback in my opinion. And if this is going to maintain and instead of test again, this is going to move the market. And one more time, if this happened, this is my target still, 4.3. This is really my target. And I feel that that will become a big issue here itself. So this is what's happening. But one more thing to take out is the VIX market. Let's take a look at the VIX. Now this VIX, right, you can see that it's actually lifting itself higher recently. And all this tells me that it's just basically preparing for a sudden uptrust movement. All right. So I feel that, if you want to protect yourself, just buy VIX about 20 to 21 and see what happens. I'm going to look at this to buy. And if let's say the price really breached 27, 26 area, then 31, 32 will be next. All right. So watch out for this. With the first wave there, then I remember telling you guys there's some profit taking coming in. It happened again, but this time around you can see that the lows are getting higher. And these are all the telltale signs that things may change. All right. So look at the Dow Jones for today, as you can use my KFC techniques. Though this is the level here, which is at 33,031. And I mentioned that as long as the Dow Jones stays above it, the market can't come down. And you can see the last few days, the market did try to go below the line, and almost every time it rebounded. And very interesting, the phenomenal is that the low 2 days ago was 32,844, and this one is was 32,854. So the market is really trying to hold above this 32,850 area. So first of all, the market has to stay above 33,031. As long as it stays above it, the upside is still intact. But as I said again, the whole thing is that the market has been sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trading days. This is not a good sign. With Apple and Tesla down already, I believe that it's just a matter of time the Dow Jones will be coming down. Just a matter of time, okay? And of course, if you look at the NASDAQ, well, away from the KFC, I remember telling you guys this is support here at 10,820, and it's holding up. Yesterday it came down again, did the same thing and recovered. So it looks like, wow, there's some form of manipulation here itself, because it looks really as if it's curve fit, yeah? But the Hang Seng was brilliant. I showed you yesterday, if the Hang Seng breaks above the KFC level, which is at 20,103, it will go higher. And really, today, Hang Seng shot up higher. Wow, look at it. So now you understand why this KFC level that I created is so important. If it stays above, it will go higher. If it stays below, it will go lower, right? Let's take a look here. This is really incredible. And of course, for gold price, as you can see, my goodness, look at it. When it broke the KFC level, and that was back then is 1726 level, all the way is moving up. Now just take note, right guys, KFC, the next turn date itself is probably at 13th of January. That's about another 10 days from now. So take note of this. Well, it doesn't mean that it will have to come down, but it will be an important lookout point, okay? So as we go closer, I'll share with you more in details, all right? Okay, let's look at the market for today with the TWB system. Well, we have a very incredible movement yesterday. Well, by right, this is actually telling me that they should be selling. But today, the market stands strong. And by opening below the pivot 2 at 33,141 and going upright, this is actually strength. But again, as I mentioned, it's CCYR. Yellow turns to red. So let's see the opening. If the market goes up and breaks MLP, fine. The market could go up all the way to 33,388. That's a moving average MA30. But if the market later breaks below OP, right, which is at 33,104, guys, the selling can really come. And I think that it may come out all the way to this point here. And that's about 32,570. So upside is 333.88. The downside could be as low as 32,570. KSI, KRW, both are red. No good sign. Now, NASDAQ, interesting, we have a CCYR, a new BNB yesterday, so which means that the range is between 11,435 to 10,429. But the thing is this, the KSI is green, so the buyers are coming in, but the weightage is not there, so we have a mixed bag here. Now, 10,889 is pivot 2, so as long as the NASDAQ stay above 10,889, it's fine, alright? S&P 500, let's take a look right now. We have a new BNB, so the upside is 39.76, the downside is 37.01. Interesting, the KSI has turned green, okay, and we all know that this is actually a bullish signal. So if the market can stay above 38.15 today, the low is 38.17, then 38.49 will be the first resistance with the MLP. Anything higher, good number, 3888. Wow, okay. But if the market fail and goes below 38.15, and that will be the first level, I believe, will be here, and that's the 37.61. Okay, so watch out for this. Now, China today continue to consolidate between the two moving average. My God, it's really so technical. It's like they can't go up above the MA200, but maintaining itself above the MA30. This is brilliant, brilliant stuff. So it's just waiting, whichever side it breaks. So break below MA30, the slide will be all the way to 12,600. A breakout of MA200, not bad. We're going to see at least a 13,300 to 400 area. So again, every day I'm watching this and it shows that the market is really tightening up for something to break. I just feel that way, that this is not good at all. But again, different views. So let's continue. Yep. Okay. Right. So let's just continue S&P 500 and we look at the Nikkei. Now, for the Nikkei, today continue to slide because the strong yen is not something that the Nikkei wants. So with this is second day, third day coming in, KSI and KRW, both are red arrows appear. So that means that there's a chance to see Nikkei traveling down to 25,305 area. All right, it's possible. Yep. And of course, as I mentioned Hang Seng earlier on the market, Hang Seng has created a new BNB, so 21,525 is possible because everything is good. Now, Hang Seng is the only market where I share with you guys that KSI is green and KRW is all cyan. So these are very bullish signals. So even though the market pulled back over here, the market found strength and continued rally. So what is happening right now, according to my friends in Hong Kong, it seems that the funds are actually going back to Hong Kong and China right now. Seemingly, they believe that if the COVID virus really hits the whole entire China and probably they survive through it, then this is going to be a good time for these two countries. So there's a lot of funds flowing to Hong Kong right now. So let's just see, okay, because you cannot expect the US market to fall and Hong Kong be resilient. I don't think so. So let's take a look. But at the moment now, there's no reason to panic, especially for Hang Seng. Now for DAX, wow, look at it. Now remember 2 days ago I told you DAX will break above the BNB RL, and I said that the first target will be 14,296 because that is a BNB extension. Well, we have done it. Congratulations. So now we're going to see further upside. Well, from the look at it right now, the KSI stays red and the cyan is there, so which means that there's a bit of mix here. I think by around 14,392, it'll be a good time to take some profit. All right. So overall, at the moment now, DAX is the one of the second stronger one compared after the Hang Seng. So that's why all this indicator really helps a lot, right? Don't you think so? Now for crude oil, let's take a look. Crude oil today continue to slide. All right, we have a very strong changeover. KSI turned red, KRW turned red, so that's why the red arrow there, and that's why today we are selling the crude oil. Now crude oil, as we mentioned, we have a new BNB yesterday. This BNB over here itself is 76.47. Hence, therefore, if the market stays below it, there's a chance to see 71.70, and that's the level that I mentioned to watch out for. All right, because the last time when you go below $71, it was a very good buy and the price went up. So I suspect that this time around, 71.70 will be coming in. All right. One thing about reason why crude oil is coming down is because there's still ongoing fear that this China is going to be suffering because of COVID. So that's why. And usually when the crude oil price comes down, we do see the Dow Jones follow through. So let's see what happened. Yep. Okay, so we have the indices all covered. Let's look at the gold and silver. Now silver is good. It's going to go up further. Now this guy, BNB support RL level at 23.51 has been a very, very strong support. And every time the market pulls back, it recovers. And that's why I feel that 24.86 could be next. Well, it's just about 46 cents away. I think it's going to see, all right? At the moment now, KSI and KRW both are really, really showing that the possibility of even higher is there. And of course, if the dollar is going to come down further, then 24.86 will be no difficulty. Now gold has blast past. Now this guy gold has went above my BNB RL, which I mentioned to you at this 1810, and I mentioned to you about 3 to 4 working days. We can see 1854, and really it all happened. The thing is this, very interesting, the boys have been selling a little bit on the way up, but the weightage shows that the boys are also, the weightage shows that the buying is still there, so a bit of mix in between. But nonetheless itself, right, when the market breaks above the BNB RL, we know that the BNB 1x1 or extension will be happening. So now guys, in my opinion now, for gold today, we are near the pivot 1 at 1861. It's a good time to take some profit. I repeat, it's a good time to take some profit, okay? Of course, we have, let's look at the currency, Ethereum and Bitcoin. So for Ethereum, it has blast up, as I mentioned to you, once the dollar weakened, and once it crossed the BNB RL or 1233, you can see 1266, all right? 1263 is the KCB, which I think the market will take it out. So 1266 will be the level that we can take some profit. Yeah, KSI and KCX both are bullish, so that's why the momentum should be able to push it through to 1266. And last but not least is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not as stunning as compared to Ethereum, but it's okay. Now for this Bitcoin, now it's trading at 16833. It's above pivot 1, so it's a classic buy. KSI and KCX are all calling for buy. So the first target you should see is BNB RL, and that will be 16966 area. Only if it breaks above that, I mean 17,000, then we can see 17,339. For Bitcoin, I think that this point here itself at about 17,000, I think that will be the first resistance. All right. So guys, make sure that you do look through this video and leave a comment, and then after that, I'll select your name for tomorrow. Okay. All right. So guys, thank you for waiting for this MAO. Wish you a good day. This is Cal signing off. Bye bye.